Hi, Miss Cohen.
Hi, Rabbi.
What's doing?
I am very excited for winter vacation,
As am I. Very
but
much needed break. Yeah.
very much needed break. But I'm very much going to miss your Saturday morning class. So
Okay.
before we go, can you give me a little hint of what you would have spoken about in shul this week?
I cannot, but I'll think of something. So Parashat Shemot, looking at the birth of and the leadership of Moshe Rabbeinu, and so much to take from such a large character in Tanakh in terms of what it means to truly lead. And I think that the opening scene, so to speak, of Moshe Rabbeinu's leadership is when he meets Borei Olam at the burning bush. And there's so much symbolism embedded in what happens in that scene that we take for granted or we don't really understand, that talks about what it means to be a true Jewish leader. As an example, the choice of bush that Borei Olam presents himself to Moshe in is a sneh, is a thorn bush, which is, the Mifashim, right, is very low to the ground. And I think one of the symbolisms that the Mifashim discuss is that a leader, if he's going to understand his people and he's going to lead them in the proper fashion, he's got to understand how to come down to them when they're in their suffering, right? Very often the leaders are the people who are living large, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
They're above what's happening to the people or the employees or whatever else is happening in the organization. It's very important, if you're going to be a leader of any type of group of people, to understand that you have to be with them in whatever it is that they're going through. And I think that's a very important aspect of a leadership in any organization, right? So if you want to talk about education, for example, my educational philosophy is all administrators have to teach. I can't understand what my teachers are going through in the classroom if I'm sitting in a corner office just creating policies without knowing what's happening on the ground. There are many, many other character traits to learn from the scene, but I want to know what do you learn from Moshe Rabbeinu as a leader?
So on this topic, I really always love your class because you give an
It's
example,
like a
and
commercial for my class. I love it.
in this situation, you're talking about as the principal of the school or the administrator, you have to also teach so you can see what your staff is dealing with on the day-to-day basis. But even as a parent, to be a good parent, you really have to be in the trenches with your kids and know what they're going through. As a teacher, you have to be with your students and know, oh, this test is going to be really hard. I have to prepare them extra or set them up for success.
100%. And the parenting piece is difficult because sometimes there's a gap between the way we grew up and the way our kids are growing up, and understanding sometimes what they're dealing with is a little bit harder than we may have imagined. So definitely a very difficult piece, but definitely something to learn from. So
Thank
hopefully
you.
we'll learn a lot from Moshe. Thank you.